Yo, what is up guys? So chapter 6 season 4 is here, and with it comes the release of 4 new POIs across the map. Now these POIs are stacked with loot and will act as overpowered new drop spots which you are going to need to know if you want to be successful in tournaments and rank this season. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 of the best new drop spots from the new areas across the map in this season, and if you find it helpful, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Let's get straight on into today's video. Okay, so starting off, we're going to begin with drop spot number 1. Now this is going to be the brand new POI Ranger's Ruin, as you guys can see. Now this POI is absolutely stacked with loot, probably why Peterbot's already claimed it for the global championship. Now as we look across the POI, as you guys can see, there are chest spawns literally everywhere. So let's just land on the roof, and while I tell you guys about the POI, we'll gather loot as we go. Now in this POI, there are 30 chest spawns across the POI, and 20 of these are guaranteed chest spawns. So every single game, you're very likely to get lots of loot. As you guys can see, I've already got a shotgun, AR, and full shield. Now there are bug spawns at this POI and they will kill you. They have killed me already in a game, so be careful. As you guys can see, they do launch you and do some damage, but it only takes one singular shot to take them out. Now across the POI, you can see there are these rocks in the middle, but you can't farm them. So if you head over to the side, you can see these other rocks which are much more fast farming, and this just allows you to stack up materials very quickly. There you go, we got about 100 brick off of that one right there. Now the game might be a little bit laggy because I am recording this as soon as I can jump on. There are much more chests all across the map, so you guys can stack up lots of loot, as well as lots of ammo boxes and also 6 guaranteed slurp barrels which are available at the POI. Now a major positive to landing at the POI is also these chests which you can get right here, which give you buff loot. Now these don't actually appear on a Syrian just yet, but they are in game, and as you guys can see, you can get the brand new guns like the OXR rifle, and also lots of loot as multiple different guns and stuff come out of each of these chests, so you can get very stacked. I mean, you guys can see I've only landed on a little bit of the POI and already we are chilling with loot. There you go, now we got a Flowberry Fizz. We are going to get cooked by the bugs, but yeah, we're good. So you guys can see there's lots of different loot, and also there is a queen which spawns here. Now when the queen does spawn in, you can defeat her, and if you defeat her, you get a mythic sweeper shotgun, and it also gives you a carapace medallion. Now if you get this medallion, what you can do with it is every time you get an elim, it gives you 50 health, that is white health. And then every time you get an elim as well, it will also grant you 3 shield every single second, all the way up until 50 shield. So by getting that, you get extremely stacked. There is lots of metal around the POI, as you guys can see. So this POI is extremely stacked, and I would definitely recommend, if you are a confident W King team, to land here just because of the loot you get off of spawn. Okay, so now moving on to the second drop spot of today's video, we have the Hive POI. Now this POI is pretty massive, and at the south part is where most of the loot is. Now as you guys can see, it is covered in bugs, and these bugs do hit you the same at Ranger's Ruin. So let me just very quickly grab this AR and make sure that they don't start killing me. There is cars here that spawn. Obviously these will be in ranked, not inside of tournaments. As you guys can see, there are also geysers which you can use to get away, and slurp water, so you can get infinite shield from the slurp water because you don't really need to use any of the heals. So like for example, I could sit in the slurp water and then save the big pot. That's just how it works. Now if we sit on the guys, you guys can see the entire POI. There is lots of blue smoke, but the POI is pretty big. However, there isn't many buildings. That is one thing to know. There are lots of chests all around the outskirts, so I'd recommend landing in a particular segment, whether this be at the top side of the POI where the reboot van is, and also if you come into the middle, you guys can see another one of these sort of circular things which you can search, and this is a legendary chest. Again, we get Flowberry Fizz, so we're pretty stacked on loot, and just by running around and looting, you guys are going to make sure that you do get your shield up. And these trees are pretty fast farming, so there you go, we already capped wood. The bugs do hurt you, so again, make sure you kill them. But if I was going to be landing this POI, what I would recommend is making sure that you land off spawn on one of these legendary chests. Again, sorry about the bugs or any lag, because those legendary chests have 2 different guns, and also you can then utilize the geyser to rotate around the POI pretty quickly. But towards the south side of the POI here, you guys can see there are just more of these little circular areas where you can open up the legendary chests. Jesus Christ, there are so many bugs everywhere. But once you open up the legendary chests, again, you're going to be able to get good loot off of this. So you can see already that I'm pretty stacked, and I've only opened up a few legendary chests, and I've pretty much skipped out half the POI. So as you can see, you get pretty stacked here. Make sure you land on these legendary bubbles. They are all across the POI, like this one over there, to guarantee yourself the best loot. Okay, so next up is going to be the third POI, which I'm going to be covering in today's video, and that is the brand new OXR HQ. Now this is located to the south of the old Pump Power, which Pump Power nowadays is pretty ruined. and also brutal boxcars, to be fair, has been pretty much destroyed with a new POI. So this entire area of the map right here has completely changed. Now, when landing in at OXR HQ, this is a massive POI, and as you guys can see, there's already rotation out. And what I am going to show you quickly is that in the new season, these launch pads actually take you way higher than they used to. So look at the power of a launch pad off of the top of a mountain if you did want to rotate out of the POI. Now, in terms of at the actual POI, there's a lot of NPCs, as you guys can see, but over the whole POI, there are 35 chests. Now, these are regular chest spawns. These aren't including these buff chests, which are, of course, the same ones which you get at all the new POIs across the map. So I've opened one chest, and you can guys already see. I mean, I don't like the new minigun. It's pretty poor. If you guys are going to consider picking that up, I probably wouldn't. The new minigun isn't very good. But there's loot all across the POI. There's little sorts of things that you can farm up and all sorts of different things that you can grab. Now, as I said, there's 35 chests. There's 18 slurp barrels. There you go. We get shockwaves, so I can show you the whole POI a little bit easier. There's 18 slurp barrels across the POI. You have these zip lines, so you can get around the POI much easier. There's also the OXR Armory, which is downstairs. Obviously, the whole POI is made out of metal, so as you guys can see, I've got 25 metal just from breaking one of these. So if you and your trio or you and your duo, when duos comes around, want to get max metal, you can do that very, very quickly. There are a lot of NPCs around this POI. But yeah, there's the OXR Armory, and this is where you can purchase weapons and other items, and that's just by using gold, which you collect. So again, this will be available in ranked and any other. So look, if we come over to these guns, for example, I might be able to get a Reckler revolver, but again, that's for 600 gold, so it's up to you whether you want that. An OXR rifle for 600 gold, a med mist for 125, a flare gun 500, but you get the idea. So if you have lots of gold, you can come here and grab extra loot. Now, this POI also is connected to the tunnel, which is down. So if I shockwave down the mountain, you guys will see that this POI is now connected to the tunnel, which used to be here last season. And what this has done now is it's meant that there's even more loot across the POI, because you can just drop down and drop into the tunnel. Again, this could be a drop spot where you can walk right back through the doors and boom, you're back into the underside of the POI. So this is a very good drop spot if you guys do want to land this season. Okay, so next up we're going to cover the fourth drop spot of today's video. Now, this is going to be the gas station to the south of Resistance Base. Now, as you guys can see, what this is this still has the bird on top. Big up the bird. Who doesn't love the bird? But in this, it's going to be more of like a solo or a duo drop spot, I think. And there is going to be a chopper landing here next season or this season whenever they add the chopper. So that is coming. But if you're landing here in ranked, you have a car to rotate out. Now, I've always liked these little gas station drops, but just because there's always enough loot for like a solo or a duo, and you always come out pretty stacked. Like already we got AR shotgun, and we are going to get enough loot. Like I said, there's 12 chests, so that's pretty good. And there are 2 slurp trucks nearby. So if I just pop these shockwaves, I can show you that over here. Here you go. This whole thing's been added now. There will, of course, be bugs and stuff over here that you can fight. But if you grab this slurp truck right here, this is going to give you full HP. And I do think this will probably be my drop spot for the new season. So please don't all of you guys come and nick it, although that is the point of this video. But you guys can see that we're going to get, again, these sort of like things in a circle. I don't know what they're called, but they're really OP chests. Oh, we got a slurp juice as well. That's lovely. Kill off the bugs. Another slurp truck here if you need. Obviously, if you don't need, it doesn't matter. But if you do, then you get good loot. Now, all around here, there is lots of metal and fast farming brick, as you guys can see. So if we head over to this brick right here, this is the best type of brick in the game because it just allows you to farm it up really, really quickly and very, very fast. You can get to max brick. There you go. There's 100 brick. And if we just run over here, should get probably another 100 off of this. You guys can see very, very quickly, you can build up towards 1,000 mats. But it's not just brick and good loot that's at this little split right here. I definitely think this is my favorite that I'm showing in today's video. There's also these buildings made out of metal, which you can farm up for all metal, which of course come with more loot. So it is pretty slow farming, but again, all of metal is relatively slow farming, so you have to kind of accept that when you are trying to farm up metal. But in terms of what's also on top of the gas station or around the POI, you have another sort of building over there. But my favorite thing to farm up the metal is just these. So if you are looking to farm up metal fast, just come up here and very, very quickly, you get like 20 metal for each one of these. So if you knock it the whole way around, you guys will probably get a couple hundred metal, and then you can scrap the other around the POI. But in terms of strategic positioning, it's really good here because you can land here off spawn, win your fight, you'll probably be conned by 1 to 2 people, and then push either into the hive where you can look to third party and try and get your hands on the queen's loot and medallion, or try and scrap some loot at the edge of POI, or just look to go in third party anywhere, or even just rotate out onto the dead side of the map up at north side, or down towards Shiny Shafts and Outlaw Oasis. There are the geysers as well if you do wish to rotate out. So I'd say this is definitely my favorite drop spot of the new season. So now you've reached drop spot number 5 of today's video. Now this is going to be a nice little split drop, which consists of this outpost base which we have right here, and also all the loot around this lake right here. So if you are a duo, you could split if you're uncontested, or you could pick to land one, or especially especially if you're trio playing in the first few div cuts, you could choose to split the loot. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this gives me kind of Raft vibes because of the fact that it's all similar sort of buildings. Like the infrastructure looks really similar to Raft. There's grind rails across the POI as well. You are going to get W keyed by a bunch of bugs, but look, we kind of got used to that. That seems to be the entire season. Whether these bugs or not will be in comp, I'm not sure, but as you can see at the top of the screen, there is a little 20 bugs that you have to kill, and that then completes the defense of the outpost. But yes, if you are landing off spawn, especially if you're going to be conned, be aware that you are going to be W keyed by bugs. But this is just the first section of the little split, and as you can see, there is lots of loot around here. It's nice, definitely enough for a duo. And then what you can do is you can just hop on the pad to get out. Obviously we didn't mean to go on the zip rail. Let me off the zip rail. Flipping out, I'm washed. There you go. And then you can hop on the jump pad, which combined with Flowberry Fizz, I mean, flipping out, we're getting very, very high up here. But yeah, then you can just run on over to this place here. And this is what I would recommend doing the split, because that place has lots of metal. And then you can come over here to this place. And again, you've got lots of ammo boxes up here, which is nice. And just a bit more scrap loot all around the POI with another pad to get out. I tell you what I am interested to see, actually, is if these pads go to the same height as the orange ones. They don't. Okay, so the orange pad's definitely the only ones to get you higher. So that's definitely something to make note of. But like I said here around the POI, there's a few chests. The main part is definitely that outpost base over there. But if you are looking for fast farming stone, for example, then you can rotate over here and just get your mats up very, very quickly. These bits of stone are very, very good at very quickly getting mats. So it's very, very good if you are looking to try and loot up very fast off spawn. That's all for today's video. If you did find it helpful, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for much more content coming soon about the new season, just like this. Peace out from me.